Hi, welcome to a short video demonstration that will assist in the conversion of the new My Model section in the FI360 toolkit. In our example here, we have models that define a strategic asset allocation, and the models, strategic allocation and recommended investments in the model are the same for each model. So if we look at each of the models here, and we can see that they're the same, but let's just focus on this aggressive model. We can see that we have a global model, which is the model that I use to help build the models for each of the 4 other clients, and then the underlying models for each client as well. All this information has been aggregated from each client and built on this global level now. And 2 things that we can take a look at just to confirm that this is indeed the example where the fund is the same for the model and the allocation is the same. One, we can look at the expected return, see that the expected returns are all the same along with the standard deviation, and we can look at that. We can also click into each of the models and double check to see that the investments are the same as well. And this is a good double check just to ensure that the same lineup has been used for each of the 4 clients, and only you know that each of the models was set up the same way. So please double check that before you continue. But once you know that each of these 4 clients have an aggressive model built with the same strategic allocation and the same investments, we can consolidate this information into one small default version for aggressive model, which we can quickly utilize and adjust for each of the clients. And then it'll also help us to build the model for future clients as well and quickly pull that information into that client. So the first step is to pull up one of the models and one of the model versions for our client and look at it, and if this is the lineup that you want to use, both on the strategic allocation side and the tactical side, we have a good series of history built for the tactical side. What we can do is use this as our default template moving forward. So the first thing we're going to do is change the version name. Now you can change this to something like version 1 or version A, or what I'm going to do is call this my default. And this is going to replace the name in the client and store that information thusly. Now if we go back to my models, we see now we have the default, which replaced the client name, our global, and then the 3 other model names for each of the clients as well. And what we're going to do is replace both the global model and the 3 other client names with this new default that we renamed. And this is going to be our standard throughout the toolkit now. So what we can do is select the global and the 3 other models, and we're going to delete them. And when we click on delete, it's going to ask us if we want to reassign the versions at all. And we do. So we're going to select that aggressive model in the default that we just relabeled and delete the version. So now we just have one default model on, and that default model contains both the strategic and the tactical, helpful just in that long-term view and that period-by-period view, useful with the client. And if we go back into our clients now, let's go into my clients. If we pull up Blacktop, and if we go into the holdings and model portfolios, we can see now that the aggressive model is labeled and we're using the default version. So we can see that we still have some work for our 2 other models, but we're well on our way to building the models out for our client. So we're going to go back into the My Model section and perform the same routine for each of the models, conservative and moderate, to round out our conversion.